technology now. Some of us learn better if we can hear what we need to read. Do any of you experience that or think you might be one of those people?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. So there's at least a few of you there. And we want you to know that there are what's the word? An exponential increase in the number of programs that can read text to you. And I'm going to demonstrate at least one of those for you today. Just know that that technology is available. And if you think you're one of those learners where you would learn better if you can hear your text, come talk to us and we can brainstorm which program is best for you. There's mobile versions, there's computer versions. The whole area is just, as I said, exploding. So this particular program is called Kurzweil 3000. You probably saw this when it Tom's demos. So this article is called Saving the California Condor. Right? Might as well be one of your textbooks. I'm going to click on the read button. Did you hear anything?
Can the speed be adjusted?
Be nice if you could hear it.
Light extinction for the California condor. Only
Notice anything weird about this?
24 remain alive once the
Slow.
species.
So we can immediately address your question. On the reading toolbar, the speed is set at 85 words per minute. For most of us, that's going to be too slow. So let's get this adjusted up to at least 120. Let's go about 145 and let's take it.
It looked like extinction for the California condor. Only 24 remained alive. Was this species doomed? Almost. But this spring an egg hatched in the wild for the first time in about 20 years. The chick and its parents bring new hope for the survival of the species.
Okay, any reactions to this?
Huh?
I feel like it's helpful, but still, I mean, obviously it's not a perfect world, but if there was like an actual person saying it would be easier because
Okay.
it's too robotic.
Okay.
Kind of.
Well, a couple things. First, you do get most text-to-speech programs do have a choice of voices. This happens to be one of the better voices, but let's see if we can, let's see.
You haven't heard
Let's
robotic
try-
yet. There's
Let's see if
real
Paul's
robotic
working on this
voices. That's a good one.
Well, you know what? You're right. In the world of, yeah.
Almost. But this spring, an egg hatched in the wild for the first time in about 20 years.
Do you like
The
him
chick
better?
and its parents
His
bring
name's
new
Paul.
hope for the survival of the species.
Now, most of us can get used to this. For those of you who in any case prefer a human voice, we do have another option from a company called Learning Ally. Did any of you in your past listen to books from Recordings for the Blind and Dyslexic? Any of you have that experience? They used to do tapes. But now, of course, everything's going to digital, everything's going to the cloud. Any book we get from Learning Ally has been recorded by a human being. And Recording Ally has apps for Android and iOS. So just to give you an example, if you have your book on your phone, just wanted me to identify myself. This is Sharon's class. It's a call. But if you, it's also open lab, so you can use.
Is that better? God, that sounds like somebody's right in front of me.
She is.
What was that one
I
called?
need to drop something for Professor Adams.
If you want to use the lab, you just need to go over there. If you have a question, ask Tom.
Boy, that's a good one, isn't it?
Right.
What was that one called?
This company is called Learning Ally. And you have two ways to access their stuff. You can join as an individual.
Drop something.
Sometimes they have grants, sometimes they don't. It's not hugely expensive. You need verification of a print disability. And that could be because you have a physical
So
disability,
she's the only one.
visual disability, or you have a learning disability. So, because it's not open to the general public, that's why I have to have verification of your disability. So you can do it as an individual, you have access to their entire library. If you do it through our institutional license, we verify your disability and we download the books that they have for your class, and then you access them on your, whatever device you're gonna access them on. So if this is something you're thinking you need like right now, we should try to implement this. Who's is Sharon your learning disability specialist? So as soon as you can get a hold of Sharon, tell her that this is interesting to you and you'd like to see what we can get from Learning Ally right now. And you have an iPhone.
Yeah. And then what was that one called?
This one?
Yeah.
This is Kurzweil 3000, and this is one of many computer-based programs. Now, you know the world is, the sands are shifting under our feet as we speak. So that Kurzweil has an app for the tablet, for the iPad. So, you know, all these companies are trying to keep up with the mobile market. The things that have traditionally been just on a computer are now going to the cloud, are now going mobile. So it's a new world. But again, the most important thing is the takeaway I have for you guys is that you think about what will help you learn best. Will it help me if I could talk to the computer? Will it help me if I could hear my print resources? Will that help me? And then we can figure out the details. So think about the big picture.
But if I have a textbook like I have in my backpack,
Yes.
there's no way that could be
Oh, there so is.
spoken to me.
Here's how the process works. When you, in collaboration with your learning disability specialist or your disabled student services counselor, determine that you need to hear your, and I'll say instructional resources because it isn't just about textbooks. It can be tests. It can be the material your teachers put on your companion. It could be many things, right? So if you decide you need to hear this stuff, then she, or whoever it is, they fill out a form and you guys come to Tom and to me. Then together we collaborate as to what works best for you depending on what devices you own, where you study, what kind of books you want, etc. Right. We have many sources we can go to for digital books, for books that are already available to be played on the computer, so you can hear them. If your book is nowhere to be found in a digital format, we take your book, we break it open, we put it through a high-speed scanner, and we create the digital content.
Awesome, great.
And then we give you back your book rebound with a plastic spiral binder. The only downside for you is you can't sell it back. But so anything can be created to be digital,
Sell it back to who?
the bookstore.
Well, that's not a problem, sell it somewhere else.
Right, well, there you go. I like your attitude. Does that answer your question? There's nothing we
It's not hard
can't
to
do
figure out.
in that line, nothing.
Okay.
And the most important thing to keep in mind is, if you need a specific accommodation, then it's our job in collaboration with you and the professor to figure out how to make it happen. So we want to think optimistically, we want to make things happen.
Well, this is great. You can do this at home, and when you're in class, you got that little pen. You're not gonna miss anything.
There are, exactly, and that's also the point of this too, is we don't want you missing out on any of your instructional resources. Programs like Kurzweil 3000 were designed not just so you could listen to your text. That's why it costs $500. It can do more than that. And let me show you some of the things it can do. You know, as we read, we always come upon
Ponder.
a word that we don't know the meaning of, right? So in this case, the dictionary is built in. I double-clicked on condor. I'm going to go to the dictionary. Here's the definition of condor. I can listen to it if I want. Because I've done this demonstration more than once, I know what part of the definition I want. So I'm going to take the definition. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to close the dictionary. And I'm going to come back into my digital text. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I can look up a word in my reading, understand it, come back to my reading, and 5 minutes later forget what it means.
Oh, yeah.
This is disturbing. So here, now what are our choices? I can't tell you how many books I've just written the meaning in the book, right? Because that works. Digitally, here's what we do. Create a sticky note. I'll put it right over here. I'm going to paste it in the text, I'm just going to move it first. We paste in that text. And here's the meaning of condor. Oops. If this, a little bit. So that if we ever forget what a condor means, we've got it right here. Okay?
And this
Sense?
program costs $500.
Yes, and
And?
we have 60 licenses here at Santa Monica College, so we can lend you licenses that you can use at home. In addition to which, we have another program called Reader My Gold, for which we have a site license for the entire campus. And it does similar things. So we always make sure for those of you that need to listen to printed material, that you have a way to access it at home. Because we know that you don't do all of your studying on campus.
So there's two of these programs that do the same thing.
Similar. They have a slightly different approach, which hopefully we'll get to.
Okay.
Another thing that this program can do is give you the opportunity to highlight text. So what we're going to do is we're going to together listen to and read this chapter about how the condors became endangered, and then we're going to answer that question. So just listen.
How did condors become endangered? Human development in the areas the big birds flew presented many hazards. Deadly collisions with power lines took many birds' lives. Habitat destruction meant the loss of nesting and hunting territory. Pesticide poisoning led to unhealthy eggs and a drop in hatchlings. Scientists needed to move quickly to save the big birds.
Now, any of you who have taken Anita's textbook strategies class, I know you did, know that one way to interact with your textbooks is to ask questions. And the question serves as a way to summarize what you're reading about. In this case, the question was handed to us in a silver plate. How did condors become endangered? That's what this paragraph's all about, right? So I'm going to take highlighter color. I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to take another color, and we're going to answer the question. How did condors become endangered? I asked you. How? What got in their way?
The next sentence is going to tell you.
Give me specifics.
Human development in the areas.
But what about the humans? Specifically what?
Pesticide poisoning.
Pesticide poisoning, that certainly didn't help them. What else?
Deadly collisions.
Deadly collisions with power lines, and one more thing. Got in there.
Habitat destruction.
Yes, okay, well done. All right, now, we're already ahead of the game because we've identified the point of the paragraph and we've highlighted the details, right? This is good. This is already one step ahead of just looking at the words because you know, we've all been there, you spent an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours reading your textbooks, right? The time is up, the evening is gone, and what do you remember?
Yeah, that's a real problem.
Does this not happen?
Yeah.
We don't want any of us to waste our time like that. So we have to have strategies for interacting with our textbooks so that we pull out the important information and have it available for studying. We don't want to have to read our textbooks more than once. It's just not efficient. If you have a digital textbook like this, here's what you can do. We've highlighted what's important, the main idea, the details. We also have a definition up at the top, right? I'm going to go to the File menu and choose Extract, Extract Notes and Highlights. I'm going to say OK, and a new document opened up. Make this bigger. A new document opened up that has all of that information. The definition, the question highlighted, and the answer to the question were extracted. They were taken out of the context of the textbook and put into a document.
And you don't have to outline it, there it is.
Well, it depends how carefully you take your notes, but yeah, it's definitely moves you ahead in the process. And this document you can work with in Kurzweil. You can pull it into Microsoft Word, wherever you're comfortable working. and this becomes a kind of study guide. Now, you're in Anita's class, we're doing it differently. I don't want this to confuse you, this is just a different way to do it. But the point is that there are ways to interact with your textbooks so that you can get out the important information and create a study guide. So you're not wasting your time, and you're better prepared for your classes and, of course, for the exam.